I'm initially beginning to talk about our relations and who we are today. And when I speak about relations, I'm talking about all forms of relations, the work, romantic partners, business partners, basically the people I attract. That's one part. Then the second part of the talk is who have I become through my growing up process? What do I remember of that? What did I suppress of that? And what do I have dissociative amnesia about that I don't know who I have become? These two famous sons of Gotham. Well, one of the aspects that we look into when a client comes in, we want to see क्या हो गया रहेगा बचपन में जिसके वजह से ये बर्ताव है या फिर ये बिलीफ सिस्टम है या फिर ये डिफेंसेस है या फिर what must have happened in childhood, early childhood, that they are going through these spirals. That's our curiosity. So, as interventionists or as therapists and coaches, we are looking at traumatic events or we are looking at clinical events. There has to be some kind of clinical intervention because of which something must have happened and they can't stay in touch with the real world. And because they can't stay in touch with the real world, so it's one of these two, right? Because if otherwise, if the field is healthy, and if you are self regulating, then the world is smooth. You can pave the path well. But if the field is healthy and if you are not ready to receive it, if you have dissociations, hallucinations, psychosis, neurosis, then you are not in touch with this reality and you're constantly living in this hallucination. The attraction that I have with the work, with anger, with behaviors, with emotions, with people and context, the attraction that I have is not a random spark. It is between my unmet need and the unmet need of the field. It is between two unconscious personal histories that's come into being me. The me that I am today is not disconnected from the entire journey. So the whole of my personal history comes and meets me today here. And when I get attracted to you, I'm getting attracted to that whole personal history of yours. To ancient history, that's what Dake used to use. He say, well, you are a collection and a culmination of that ancient history that's come all the way and meeting today here. And then he says, it's the two shadows, mine and yours, who's trying to resolve, which neither of us could complete alone. The timeline distortions. Do you have a timeline distortion? Do you remember your life? Do you have a timeline distortion? Do you have a timeline distortion? Like, do you look at some parts of your life and you say, I have no memory of it. I have no memory of it. Do you have patches of dissociated amnesia? Your first love, your school days, your early, look at your school. It's 15 years of schooling, right, in India? Do you have patches of gaps? Do you remember your junior college days? Or did you forget your graduation days? Or I'm not saying there must have been something, but I'm saying just look at it, whether you had timeline distortions. Or were you in touch with someone whom you once called as your best friend and then it's been 10 years that you didn't even think of that person even once? That's a timeline distortion. And I want you to just ask yourself, do you have something like this? Do you remember the time when we did Caligula? Caligula, the emperor at that time, would ask all his men at 2 o'clock at night, come out in your night dress and walk on the roads. What he's trying to do is he's trying to stage the helplessness of who he was as a child to see it outside because he's trying to bring that theater out. We function in extreme funny ways. Sometimes we become the tyrant, sometimes we become the victim, and sometimes we also become the justice. But it's so unfair that we don't work through logical pathways. Judy, in a December class, she says, your behaviors are not logical, they're psychological. And there's so much of meaning in that, right? Because otherwise, why will Caligula or why will Joker or why will Penguin, after they become who they become, after they've captured the wealth and money, why wouldn't they choose a life better, not just for themselves, but also for Gotham? That's perceptual position. So the question is not what you did. The question is, who were you when you did that?